Tips from the ER, IVs, and no, I'm not talking about your indestructible vagina syndrome. People, when you come into the ER and you get an IV, we know it could be uncomfortable. We stabbed your arm with a needle and now there's a tiny little micro straw sticking out of your vein. We get it, it hurts. But that IV is one of the most beautiful things we can give you. Think about it. It is a motherfucking miracle that we could shoot drugs directly into your bloodstream to save your life. We don't take it out until the second you are discharged because, God forbid anything happens to you, that little thing will be the reason you get relief. Stop asking us to take it out. We have patients who try to sneak out of the ER with it in because it is so valuable. That IV is your first class ticket to the best narcotics science has to offer, and you're complaining because it hurts to bend your arm? Why did you even come here? Tips from the ER, spontaneous pneumothorax. It's when, for no obvious reasons, extra unwanted air leaks into the space between your chest and your lungs. The air pushes against your lungs, causing them to collapse, making you unable to breathe. You could have been driving your car, walking your dog, or doing your best LeBron James impression, running after that chase down block. Not in my house! One thing is for certain, a spontaneous collapsed lung happens way more often in tall, skinny males. Sorry, gentlemen, your genetics did you no favors by giving you a small chest, tiny rib cage, and nowhere for your lungs to go. Next time they ask you why you keep skipping leg day, tell them you're trying to get your chest bigger to prevent a pneumothorax. I'm just kidding, motherfuckers. It does not work like that. If you come into the ER, we cut a hole between your ribs, stretch it out wide enough to stick a tube into your chest, stick that tube into a sucking machine that will suck all that extra unwanted air out your chest, giving your lungs so much more space for activities. Tips from the ER, abscess. An abscess is like a giant pimple growing somewhere on your body. It's a painful swollen lump filled with pus because it's infected. And unlike this giant zit on my face, motherfuckers, if you come into the ER with an abscess, we're gonna slice that baby open and spill all its gooey goodness. First thing we're gonna do, wipe you down, get you some numbing medication, and then we're gonna cut right down the middle. We'll be sure to be properly geared up because if this is your first time, we won't know if you're a squirter. Once open, we're gonna use whatever we have on hand, tools, gauze, fingers, roll it around inside of you to pull out every last drop of juice. Once empty, we're gonna stuff your new body hole full of gauze and let it marinate for a couple days. After 1 to 2 days, we pull out all that delicious cotton filled with blood, meat, and pus, patch you up, and send you on your way. Worst place I've ever seen an abscess? Right between a man's ball sack and his booty hole. Safe to say he got all the numbing medication the ER had to offer. Tips from the ER, baby boo-boos. It's a joyous moment when your baby starts walking. You've been waiting for this day since you saw little Becky come out between those legs. And now look at her go. Touching, licking, tasting everything she can get her miniature little hands on. But a walking baby also means they're 1,000 times more likely to hurt themselves. Whether they split their chin open on a coffee table, break an arm jumping off the couch, or slice their face in two running into the TV stand. You gotta watch them like a hawk, motherfuckers. If not, you're gonna end up in the ER holding that screaming baby down while we try to close up whatever open cut is currently occupying your mini-me's cute little face. And when I say hold, I mean really hold. It may take 2 to 3 of us to keep him still, but we gotta make sure your baby doesn't move an inch or we're not going anywhere near that injury. If this seems cruel and makes you uncomfortable, you're more than welcome to wait outside, because the last resort would be to tranquilize him with a special medication called ketamine, aka horse tranquilizer. If it'll work on a horse, it'll work on a baby. Tips from the ER, bloody taste. We've all been there as a child. You cut your hand or your finger open doing God knows what, you start to bleed and your first instinct is to put it in your mouth and suck it. Some of you still have this dirty habit, but we won't judge. If you've ever tasted blood, either your own, someone else's, or a wild animal's, you'll notice that it has a weird taste to it. Kind of like licking a metal pole. But why does your blood taste like metal? I'll tell you why, motherfuckers. It's because it contains lots of iron. Not enough to make you a Marvel superhero, but you're definitely closer to being Tony Stark than any other Avenger. He's the best one anyways. The iron in your blood helps move oxygen throughout your body, so that when you breathe in all that delicious O2, it's not just stuck in your lungs. Think of your iron as like the Uber drivers, and the oxygens are the passengers, waiting to get picked up to go to work.